Hello, this is Birdie Free Golf. Thanks for tuning in to a long-awaited podcast. It's been a few weeks since we have been on. We appreciate all of you who are listening to us this week. Back from a terrific golf trip last week that we want to update you about and tell you what was going on in that tournament last week. But until then, Brady, you are with me as always. What's going on, man?
Not a whole lot. Just got off work a couple hours ago and just kind of getting settled in at the house and finally on here to do a podcast. It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a few weeks. We have, I guess up before last week, it was about a month that we have gone without playing a lick of golf.
Yeah.
And it being in downtime with even the PGA Tour, it's just there's nothing to really talk about, and we're not going to put anything out if we're not going to talk about something. So
if we're not playing golf, which is hard enough as it is, and there's nothing going on with the PGA Tour, there's really nothing that we could have done. I mean, we could have got on here and we rant and rave a little bit. It's just about life, but I mean, nobody wants to hear that crap. So we just kind of laid low. We had like snow one week, and it lasted for days, and then it finally melted, and then like literally 2 days later, it snowed again. So we've just been fighting the elements, the cold. Even if it wasn't snow on the ground, it was too cold to go play. And so, but like Donovan said, we got to get away to Myrtle Beach last week, and we had some great weather days. I think we had like 2 days in the 60s.
Yeah, mid-60s.
Wore shorts 2 days. That was big time. So
yeah, the only downside is we battled some wind most of the week, but we'll handle that at 60-degree weather. Just being out and being able to be on the golf course for sure.
Yeah. Well,
we do like to complain about a lot of things, but we will not complain about the weather that we
complained all week about my golf game and about the courses, but I didn't complain about the weather. I thought the weather was great. Yeah. Even Saturday when it kind of got chilly, it was great to me. I mean, my dad had his cart cover on, and I was riding with him Saturday, and I was wanting to roll my door up on the cart cover. And he wouldn't want me, or he wouldn't let me do it. So,
but even then, it still ended up being a pretty day.
No, yeah, I think about hole 5.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of warmed up, and the wind was still there, but it wasn't bad. So,
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, a great week of golf. Well, I'll say a great week of golf for me. It's definitely a 2 different stories from you and I from this week.
Yeah. We'll start with you, though. I mean, you played probably the best golf you've ever played.
I played out of my mind this week. Yeah, the scoring wasn't much better, but at the same time, we played some very difficult courses, much more difficult than what we play here.
Kicked my butt.
I probably had, I mean, all the viewers that listen to this now know that, I hit the golf ball like a girl. So I was on a lot of par 4s. I was hitting driver 4-iron into the green, if I could even reach the green from there. But the courses were long. It was sand everywhere, thanks to Pete Dye. That's just how he does it. And
not even him. I mean, it was just we got handed to us by the old guys.
We did.
So just to kind of roll back a little bit, we ventured down to Myrtle Beach and we stayed at the Barefoot Golf and Resort.
Yep.
Golf and Resorts, something. But anyways, so we played the courses there at Barefoot. So I think there was the Greg Norman course, the Tom Fazio course, Davis Love.
Yep, Davis Love.
Pete Dye.
And Pete Dye.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Was that it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
They all suck. I hate them all. I hate all those guys. For some reason, they like the sand. I don't know, the water.
there's a lot of bunkers. You had to deal with water, I would say, on about half of the holes that we played this week. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but there was some water areas, a lot of hazards, long courses. We even played, I think, just to accommodate everybody who was playing that week. We even hit from like a tee box forward, and
I think that was the problem. I really do think that was the problem, at least for me and the guys that hit at the same kind of distance that I do. Like, all the trouble was in our landing zone.
Mm-hmm.
And so for those, and the scorecard told you where you should play based off your handicap, but from the white tees where we played or the regular men's tees, the bunkers and the water and stuff were reachable from that. And like almost every hole was like you needed to lay up with like a 6-iron. I mean, hit a little 180 to 200 yard shot and leave it there. But if you'd have took one tee back, that you're reaching into your 3-wood or your driver at that point. I mean, that was the difference between those two tees. And I felt like, for me personally, I would have played a lot better this past week, not having to worry about those things and being back further. But that's just the way the cards fell, and that was just kind of the design we had. Our trip, we do it every year, but we have guys that range from anywhere from like literally not breaking 100 to guys who shoot under par. So like, I know there was definitely some 100 rounds there this week, but we also had a guy card a 65. I think it was a 65, which was, whatever under that is. I mean, dude went out, played out of his mind. So
yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And Myrtle Beach has a tendency, and I mean, we complain about it being mountain golf because the air is great up here and, the ball flies, no problem. Yeah. But, being there, being on at sea level, I think at the beach, it feels like the wind's blowing in your face on every hole. And so that makes it a little bit more difficult, a little bit longer of a course. You're probably not in some of those hazard areas if the wind weren't a factor. I think you probably could drive a couple greens that we played this week, and just with the wind, it's just not possible. For someone like me who doesn't hit the ball very far, I don't hit the ball far, and I hit it pretty straight all week long, and so that helped me avoid a lot of those areas. And and for even if I wasn't in greening regulation, a short game.
Well, for you, honestly, you were in more trouble off your second shot.
Yeah.
Than you were off the tee. You didn't have anything to worry about off the tee. Unless it was a par 3 that you had to carry some water.
Sure.
But I mean, it was just tough. The biggest complaint that I have, the courses were phenomenal. They're in great shape. Fairways were plush. Greens rolled great. They were smooth. They had a little bit of pace to them, so you had to kind of be wary of your speed. The only thing about the courses that I didn't like was the greens not rolling true. I felt I'm a good putter. I pride myself in my putting, and even though it's been off the last few months, I really felt like I was making good strokes. I felt my alignment was great, and I hit putts exactly where I thought they should break. And I had so many putts that were ringing the cup, and they were hitting that spot where at most courses it would teeter over and fall in sideways, and it would just literally stay straight, and it wouldn't break in. And I just was baffled by it. I mean, I probably had at least 15 putts in 4 days or whatever, 5 days that did that to me at those courses.
Yeah.
And it's just one of the things.
For sure.
I wasn't hitting it the best, and that didn't help my attitude towards it. But then I get on the greens and I'm making good putts. Yeah. And then they're doing that. It's doing that crap. It's just irritating.
Yeah, and sometimes that can just be wintertime golf as well. Greens aren't going to roll like they typically do,
Yeah.
and you're obviously you plan for a little bit less break in the wintertime. And overall, though, I mean, I think if you have an opportunity to go play at Barefoot Resort, I think it's definitely worth it. The beautiful courses in the summertime, I would imagine that they're immaculate. I mean, just in great shape. It's tough, but at the same time, it's not. I think it is pretty forgiving. It's not. It looks harder than what it really is. So for those listeners that are out there just kind of checking out different courses, Barefoot is definitely one that I would recommend that you go play. It's definitely a lot of fun.
Good facilities.
As far as
they have good driving ranges.
Yeah, great practice facilities. Putting greens are good. Yeah, so overall it's a great week of golf. We went down. Brady and I went down a day early,
2 days early.
A couple days early, and we had the opportunity to play around before we got started with everybody else being down there, and we got on the driving range, man, and something we've been working on it, and I've been simplifying my swing, and man, we got down there on the driving range, and all of a sudden, like, I was just striking the mess out of the ball, and something just clicked. And so usually on the driving range for me, it's like I'll chunk one and then I'll thin the next one and then I'll hit one solid and then I'll just do it all over again. But it was like strike after strike after strike for me there. And I'm like, I'm all of a sudden having fun, playing golf.
Yeah.
And really it kind of, it carried over to the golf for that week. I obviously hit some bad shots and that's going to happen. But for the most part, the ball striking was the best I ever hit it. And so I'm figuring some things out there, and we'll probably show some of that content as far as, just simplifying the golf swing, just making it easy. I'm a head case, and it's, I think about all kinds of stuff in the swing. But, for those of you who are amateurs who are like me, who just think too much, then we'll probably have some content out about simplifying everything and just kind of what I'm feeling, and some of that I think is good. But as far as the rest of that goes, man, the short game was
great.
On point, 70 yards in. Like, my wedges were on point.
All of them was like 6-year-old first tee golfer from like tee to like 100 yards. And then from 100 yards in, he was like Masters champion.
It was ridiculous. So the last day we were there, we were on the die course, and we were on a par 5. It's like hole number 8, I think, is a par 5 there. And I hit the ball left off the tee, and then I hit the ball right with my second shot, and then I chunked my third shot, and it was short. And so I'm like 75 yards out for my birdie attempt, with a wedge in my hand, and I stiffed that thing 2 feet from the hole, maybe even closer than that. It might have only been a foot. I kind of took my foot wedge and tapped it in, and parred the hole, and that was just kind of how the week was going. So, but I was unconscious on the putting green, that last day, and it makes a difference.
I can't say the same.
Well, and I think that's one thing I learned this week. Hey, even if you're not hitting the ball well, like, there's still opportunities to score.
I think I had a little paralysis from analysis this week. I've been working on some things in my golf game. I've been changing things that I think are going to be very beneficial for my golf game. Like, I already see results in it, but I think I just got to the point. And like, one of my big things, my number one goal for this beach trip, which I'm now like literally just sitting here thinking about it, like, I accomplished what I wanted to do this week. My number one goal for the week was to hit balls on the range every single day, find something and take it to the course. Like, that was my desire. And I spent every day on that range. I think we all did. But I spent every day on that range and just worked on tempo, worked on contact, and just simple things in my golf swing, and tried to find something that was simple and repetitive that I could take with me. And I wasn't looking for cuts. I wasn't looking for draws. Like I wasn't looking for shot shaping or distance or anything. It was just, how am I hitting the golf ball? Am I making a solid strike on the ball? And I found that most every day. It was comfortable leaving the driving range, going to the course. I think the problem that hurt me this week, because I really didn't hit the ball bad. I hit the ball pretty decent. I bought 2 new wedges and threw them in the bag, like literally I hadn't played golf in a month since before Christmas, and I threw 2 new wedges in the bag, and they were by far the best clubs I had all week. So it wasn't anything like that. I just couldn't make any putts. Like I really struggled on the greens, and like I probably had the most 3 putts I've had this week in 10 years. I mean, like that's what it feels like. I wouldn't say 10 years, but since I was probably in high school, I'm working on that. So it's just,
that's close to 10 years.
Yeah, it's just close. It's crazy, but just, yeah. But I want to go back to one thing, because you mentioned content, and I think we just need to let it rip. Me and Donovan, and I say me and Donovan, but I'm really meaning me. We failed you royally on the filming and the content this week. We got absolutely 0 footage of this trip, which sucks, because I think there's a lot of stuff that we could have recorded and not even been golf related. But at the end of the week, like I kind of asked Donovan every day. I was like, Donovan, should I film today? Should we do a podcast today? Because we had a podcast planned too, and with one of our friends that was going to be down there, and we're going to have him on here. Dylan Lancaster, he's a good friend of mine, and he's the guy who shot 65 on one of the days that we played, and just an outstanding golfer for one, but good solid dude too. And we just literally, it was just every day. It was just kind of like, we're just having too much fun to like worry about filming. And I want to put this out there, because the more and more I thought about it, like I kind of just liked what was going on in my head more and more. But like me and Donovan are not seeking to be professional YouTubers or whatever. Like that's not our desire for this. It's more just like bringing some humor and good times in a golf setting to our friends and our family and just whoever else that decides to chime in and watch or whatever. But I'm not upset at all for not filming. I felt like we had a great time, not having to worry about that and have the pressure on us. And so we will have content, but it's not going to be every time we go out and play golf we're going to film, because it's just not who we are. It's not what we're trying to do either. So
yeah, sometimes you just got to go out and just have a good time. And I think that was really what last week was about for us. And, we unfortunately were away from our families the whole week, so if that's the case, we're just hanging out with the guys and just enjoying the week. And overall, it was a great week. Your dad did a great job of putting that together, and we had like 36 guys
something like that.
On the trip with us, and just had a real good time. And I appreciate all that were there, but sometimes it's what you just got to go out and just enjoy the game. We get so frustrated and thinking about swings and scores and all those things, but at the end of the day, like golf's just about going out and having fun, and you got to do that sometimes.
Yeah, and I'll tell you some things you missed. Number one, you missed a ton of swearing from yours truly on the course. I let loose this week, and I apologize greatly to whoever was in my group. I was not the best influence. I was definitely not the best steward of my vocal cords and the words in my vocabulary. And so you missed that, but it's a good thing you missed that. You missed some awesome Mexican food.
For sure.
Yeah.
Taco Mundo.
Taco Mundo at Barefoot.
North Myrtle Beach.
Y'all need to eat there. It's heaven on earth.
It's great.
And let's see, what else did they miss? They missed some Beavis and Butthead to America. It was great. I don't even know how
went old school with that one.
Yeah, I don't know how that came up, but by the end of the week, we all had our shirts over our heads saying we were cornholios. I mean, and asking if waitresses were threatening us. But
I think this is a new segment for the podcast is confession time with Brady.
Hey,
You're just laying it out there, confessing sins to the world.
For real. I need it every day. Golf is like my absolute worst enemy.
Yeah, it's hard.
Golf is from Satan. There's no denying it. But
yeah, and we love it way too much.
I love it. I mean, it is sin. It's sin, just like anything else. I mean, anything sinful, we always love it, and that's just part of we have to resist it.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's tough. Yeah. It is a 4-letter word for a reason, for sure. Yeah. Just to get us a couple things in the PGA action going on. This week is by far my favorite tournament that the PGA Tour will have this season. Other than the Masters, like I love the Masters too, but as far as like early season events, man, I love the Waste Management, and we'll get to that soon. But Pebble Beach last week, which was weird because most of all of PGA Tour was playing in Dubai, for the Asian Tour, but had a pretty good ending with Jordan Spieth and Patrick Cantlay there, kind of making a run the last couple rounds, and Tom Hoge. I think he's took his first win on the PGA Tour, and he's been on it for years. But
which is odd because he's like, are you sure it was his first win?
I think it was. Yeah. We'd have to look that up. But
he's always kind of in there. He's been there. He's been in the mix a lot over the last couple of years. I mean, for sure, we had some little friendly wagers going on if Jordan Spieth was going to be able to come back and win. Or not come back and win, but he was going to be able to keep grinding it down and winning. And I kind of had my sights on Cantlay. Same. Just because of the way he's played this last year, and probably the best putter on tour right now.
Well, but he kind of went back to his old ways. His Achilles heel for the longest time for Cantlay has been his putting. Yeah. And he reverted back to that in the last round for sure. So he struggled, and then Spieth was looking great, and then he got to 15, and things started to he just couldn't make any birdies, just missed some birdie putts, and then Tom Hoge just played great. I mean, he played great all weekend and finished up strong, birdied the par 3 17, I think, and ended up birdieing 18 as well. So, overall, just a great week. Great week for him. I thought it was a good weekend of golf. I love the Pro-Am stuff. You get to see all the amateurs out there, and especially in California. And so that's a good time. And Macklemore and Bill Murray as always. And so it was cool. It was cool event. But this week is the Waste Management, and I don't know, man. I don't know why I love that. I just love the course. I love the stadium atmosphere on 16, and the drivable par 4 on 17, and then just a pretty cool finishing hole as well. So I think this week is going to be a good week of golf. Yep. Who you got?
I don't know. I've not looked at the field. I've been busy. You take a week off from work. You've been in the office.
Yeah.
Donovan is he's the guy who puts me on the schedule now, and that's kind of a love-hate thing, but it's not his fault.
Yeah, I'm basically your boss.
Yeah, basically not. Yeah, but yeah, I've just been slammed. I've not been able to kind of get my feet on the ground this week and really do anything. It's been some late nights, and but yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl halftime show. I'm not looking forward to
the halftime show.
I'm not watching the football, but I'll tune in to watch some Snoop D-O double G.
Yep. Dr. Dre, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, I think.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good throwback.
Yeah.
By the way, I think that's kind of like sparked just listening to like some 90s hip hop for me here recently.
Oh, yeah.
And Elizabeth and I literally just like, I put on Amazon Music, I just put like a 90s hip hop station on. And Elizabeth and I were just kind of rapping to some hip hop last night. Nice. It was pretty fun time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think at some point, I think you might have been in the group. I think you were in the group. It was like one of the first days we played. It was me and Ryan and you and Danny. And I turned on some like B.I.G. and some Dr. Dre. I think I had some Eazy-E on there too.
Yeah.
So
and some Tupac.
Yeah. I had Tupac on there. But it was great,
man. Yeah, I think my golf started picking up actually when you started playing.
Yeah, I think I went sideways.
But yeah, no, it should be a good halftime show. Don't care too much about. I mean, I'm a football fan, but I honestly don't care who wins. I don't care anything about the game. So commercials should be good. The entertainment should be good at halftime, and it'll be a good time. But I'm probably going to be tuned in more to the golf tournament. Sure. I'll be honest.
I was kind of hoping I kind of hit him up at the last minute. I was trying to get Nate on here tonight because Nate's played Scottsdale.
Oh yeah,
him and KG went. Kendall Graveman.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to get him on here to kind of talk about the course, but I'm sure he's busy and hitting dingers or doing something. So
I don't know. They're on lockdown. He's probably just chilling at the house, just sitting around.
Been playing. I seen he took his brother out. I think it was his brother for their birthday. They went and played Lake Nona again.
Oh, nice.
So I think it was like right after Danny O'Kang had just won down there. So
okay,
but yeah, I definitely want to have him back on soon. If he'll hang out with us, Dweebs.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on the invite.
I mean, yeah. Spring training starting soon. I mean, we got to take us a little trip down to Arizona.
Yeah, if they can get the lockout to end, for sure, that'd be great.
Well, I don't even care if they end the lockout. I don't care nothing about watching no baseball. I mean,
just go play golf.
I'm sure Nate will be fine with that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right, Donovan. Well, we're going to end this with a question for both of us. And yours is, what was the funniest part about this last week's trip?
The funniest part?
What was your best moment?
Man, I think so. So we have a buddy, Ryan, who's going to be on the podcast some with us or whatever. Ryan is just as country as we are. But that dude, like, I don't even know how you guys got on it. You've already talked about it with the Beavis and Butthead stuff, but like, somehow y'all got on it. But he does the best impersonation of Beavis.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
I mean, it is hilarious. And so that's how we got to watching that.
I'll tell you how it started. I remembered. So I'm like, we're about to go out and eat. And I'm putting my jacket on, and I kind of just sling it over my head. And I have my arms through it, but it gets stuck on my head. So I'm just sitting here like this, trying to get my arms out and get it over my head. And I'm just like, look, I look like Beavis on Beavis and Butthead or whatever. And Ryan, just out of the blue, starts talking just like Beavis and is doing this like impression of him. And I'm just kind of like, who is this dude? And what have you done with Ryan Brooks? Because Ryan will carry on and he'll have a great time, but he's always kind of like quiet and kind of reserved. And when he just started doing that, I was dying laughing. It carried on all the way. I think we hit up the Cracker Barrel, the local Cracker Barrel that night. And I was literally about to throw up walking out of that place. I was laughing so hard. Like it was just great.
Yeah, that was hilarious. And then I think too, like we're all like, Ryan's close to 40, Danny's in his 40s. I mean, you're in your 20s and I'm in my early 30s. Like, we're young guys at the beach for a golf trip, and dudes, we were in bed by 9:30 every night, and we hit up the Cracker Barrel 4 times this last week. I mean,
it's 3. Like, we went 3 times. We went for breakfast and we went dinner twice. Okay.
So we were like a bunch of old men. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Ryan's impersonation, man, it just cracked.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. What about for you? Is that the same?
Yeah, I was definitely going with the Beavis one. I think one of the funniest things to me was just us getting there. Like, we kind of checked in and we're like, okay, there's some imperfections in our room or whatever. Like, no biggie. And then we see everybody else's room. We definitely got the crap end of the stick on our room. like everybody's all the other rooms. So like the place we were staying, and it's not an issue with barefoot at all. Like, don't get that twisted, because the courses and everything there was in great shape. But the place that we were staying was like, I think it was called the Yacht Club or something. Barefoot Yacht Club or something. I don't know. But there's just these condos that they've built, and pretty much they're family owned. And so when you're renting from, like, it's kind of like if me and Donovan owned a place, we would lease it to this company under Barefoot or whatever, and Barefoot would rent it for us throughout the year. And so you're just getting someone's vacation home that they have for rent. It's not that you're getting the standard Barefoot resort room. And so we got our place, and it's just outdated. Like, we didn't think of it being an issue at this point. But I mean, like, we had some like nasty like grout in our shower. Like, the carpet was like this ugly red, and the bed sheets and the walls matched. Like, it was just very outdated. The floors were outdated. The couches in the living room were 110% outdated and beat to death. And like, there were stains in some places. Like,
refrigerator smelled like, I mean,
our refrigerator smelled like
laid up in there and cut
baby
up.
Manatee has been laying in there for a month without it turned on. Like, it's just like disgusting. And then we go to the other guys' rooms, and then they're like perfect. Like, they're in great shape and stuff. So it was just funny, because every time we went to a different room, we'd be like, what is this crap? Like, so.
Yeah, we got the short stick on that one.
Yeah. But anyways, it was great. It was always funny just talking about our fridge and stuff.
Yeah.
But our fridge was pretty much not usable the whole week. It was pretty. We had a cooler full of ice. But
yeah,
anyways,
pretty rough room condition, but it's all good.
All good.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for listening to Birdie Free Golf. Stay tuned. We promise this every week, but I promise warmer weather it's coming soon, and we want to get some content out for you. We're thinking about some different challenges on the course, for Brady and I, maybe adding in a couple more for on-course vlogs to, spice some things up on the golf course a little bit, get some competition rolling. And so we want to have that content for you. And then, of course, just as always, just comment, follow us on our social media pages at Birdie Free Golf. Follow us on YouTube and leave us a comment. Tell us what kind of information do you want from us? What do you want to hear? We want to get those things out to you just as soon as we can. Yeah. So warmer weather's coming. The golf's about to pick up. It's going to be a good year. We're going to shave about 5, 6, 10 strokes off our golf games this year. I am. Brady doesn't have that much room to go, but
I have a lot of room after this last week.
So that's going to happen. But again, thank you so much for listening. We hope you all have a great week. We'll see you.